Welcome to the 3x5 news, views, and reviews, scribble and index cards. We get in and we get out fast, so keep up. Trumpenstein, that two-headed beast laying waste to the media landscape. The 2020 Netflix series, Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, which I recently watched, is an essential introduction to the man and his crimes. Most important, it puts names and faces to some of those young women Epstein trafficked and whose lives he ruined. The series mainly covers his early activities in Palm Beach, called a Ponzi scheme in the show. Enlisted by the profoundly broken Ghislaine Maxwell, teenage girls from neighboring working-class West Palm Beach emulated what she had done to them by enlisting their friends into coming to Epstein's house and, quote, massaging him. One girl alone is said to have recruited 60 to 80 girls, some of whom themselves recruited other girls. The brazenness of the scheme was dizzying. Epstein and Maxwell were no doubt counting on the girls being too afraid of getting into trouble to admit to their parents, those who had parents, that is, how they had been snared. Subsequently, the scope of Epstein's trafficking became so much more immense. The New York Times reported that Oregon's Democratic Senator Ron Wyden has been probing Epstein's finances and has learned that, for instance, in 2019, the bank J.P. Morgan filed what is called a suspicious activity report on Epstein regarding $1.1 billion spent on 4,700 transactions beginning in 2003, which included payments to women from Belarus, Russia, Turkmenistan, who he imported to Palm Beach and his place in the Virgin Islands. In case you didn't hear me the first time, that is over $1 billion. And, wait for it, 1,000 girls. One can't help but think the money that Epstein spent trafficking girls was an investment in a blackmailing scheme, if only to force those for whom he procured girls to become clients for his supposed financial consulting service. I can only imagine the nature of his financial advice. Quote, well, you start with one girl, get her to tell her friends, get those friends to tell other friends, end quote. Where did Epstein get the rest of his money? According to the Netflix series, he stole a lot of it from Lex Wexner, the founder of The Limited, a women's wear franchise that exists no longer but was once a staple of malls. He then bought Victoria's Secret and other apparel companies. Wexner seemed to be under the spell of Epstein, who, if you have ever seen videos of him speaking, had a composed, commanding presence. Regarding Epstein's reputed connection with Mossad, I don't really get that. What intel would he have been tasked to seek and from whom? Also, of course, Mossad would not have paid him enough to make him as wealthy as he was, $600 million upon his death. As for Trump and Epstein, they moved in the same Manhattan and Palm Beach circles and became fast friends. Maybe Trump's only real friend in his adult life. This period overlapped with the time that in the early 1990s, Epstein began exploiting the West Palm Beach minors. So my question is, how could Trump not have known about it? It must have been the talk of their social circle, especially since members of their Palm Beach circle had to see girls coming and going from Epstein's house. But Trump has made a career of lying and denying. He seems unaware that only advertises his ignorance. But his supporters seem happy to have a president who either pretends not to know or actually doesn't know anything. Not a friggin' thing. An example of this is the now infamous birthday card drawing by Trump included in the birthday greeting book that Maxwell gave Epstein. As everyone knows by now, it ended with that cryptic phrase, quote, every day a new secret, unquote. I echo what Tom Nichols of The Atlantic said on The Bulwark, that in his 7 decades of life, 8 in my case, he had never heard that phrase. According to Perplexity, it has been used in a spiritual context, such as edited, open quote, every day a new secret is discovered, and its strangeness and wonders are still not over, unquote. Not a bad quote. Also, as you can imagine, it has been used about the intelligence world, open quote. It seems like every day a new secret is revealed about the extent of NSA spying. Okay, of course. At first glance, every day a new secret might be a Hallmark card sentiment, but in Trump's usage, there is a darkness to it. But Trump biographer Michael Wolff doesn't think it refers to sex with minors. Instead, he says it refers to a girlfriend who he says Trump and Epstein were sharing at the time. Super skeevy, but not criminal, as opposed to most of the interactions each had with the opposite sex. If ultimately the Epstein files are released, what will be the consequences for Trump and the United States? After all, the files might include a Polaroid of a clothed Trump surrounded by topless girls at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion that, Wolff claims, Epstein, who he interviewed extensively for a possible book, pulled out of a safe to show him. At the very least, one can only hope faith in the Republican Party will be eroded, leading to Democrats winning back the House of Representatives. Well, that seems like wishful thinking to me, but were that to happen, they would hold investigations and hearings. However, since impeachment has been proven to be an impotent weapon against him, Trump will serve the rest of his term. As we all know, any media that criticizes Trump is automatically disqualified as untrustworthy by his supporters. Furthermore, fundamentalist Christians see Trump as a sinner who deserves forgiveness. Two problems with that. One, if I'm not mistaken, you have to actually ask to be forgiven before you actually are. Second, even if you do request forgiveness from God, but continue to sin, an angel I'm close to confided in me that there's a quota on major sins you can commit. Not sure if there's actually a numerical system in heaven, but I got the sense that the number is approximately 50. Exceed that figure, and from a Christian point of view, upon death you are sent to hell. God, the angel told me, does not like to be played. Alternately, from the viewpoint of the Eastern religions that believe in reincarnation, your soul is designated for decommissioning, tossed into a soul cauldron and melted down. I think this is probably what happened to Epstein. In an aside, another thing the angel refused to divulge is whether it's the Christian or Eastern death scenarios that is actually the case, including the day you die. The angel wanted, quote, every day to be a new secret, unquote. Meanwhile, heed my words, Trump, you are on a fast track to a meltdown of your soul. That's assuming your soul is in cinders and ashes already. Cinders and ashes.